All right, now on to the last set. So we've got the major axis endpoints and the minor axis endpoints are given, and we want to find the standard form of the equation of the ellipse. So no matter whether we're given the endpoints of the major, the endpoints of the minor, the foci, the center is always the point in the center, aka the midpoint or the middle point. So we can always find what my center is by doing the midpoint equation for either the major axis endpoints, the minor axis endpoints, or the foci endpoints. It does not matter which one you do, it will always wind up working out. So using the major axis endpoints. So if I do the midpoint formula, that's -6 plus a -6 divided by 2. So that's going to be -6, comma, 2 plus a -8 divided by 2. That's going to be -6 divided by 2, -3. All right, so now just to kind of show you how it would work with the other, if I add those, -3 plus -9 divided by 2, that's -12 divided by 2, -6, and -3 plus a -3 divided by 2, that would give you -3. So it didn't matter which one I used, it would always wind up being the center would wind up working out. All right, so now that I have my center, I can find what my length of A is, which is from the center to the endpoint of my major. So from -3 to -8 is a distance of 5 units. So my A is going to be 5 units. My B is the distance from my center to my minor. So the y's don't change, the x's change this time. So -6 to -9 is the length of 3. So my B is 3. Okay. Now I want to know what's my major and what's my minor in terms of variables. So when I look at my major, my y's are changing. So my major axis is going to be y, because my y's are changing. My minor axis, because my x's are changing, my x's are going to be my minor. All right, so when I do my equation, I do x minus h, so minus a -6 becomes +6 squared, plus y minus a -3 is +3 squared, over equals 1. All right, so now I have to figure out a squared goes under which one, the x or the y. And I look, my major is my y, so my a squared, 25, is going to go under my y. My minor, my b squared, is going to go under my x's. So 3 squared is 9. And there's my equation. Okay. For the next one, my vertices are the endpoints of my major. So these two things are the same thing. I just gave you two different ways of presenting it. So the major axis endpoints and the vertices are used interchangeably. So we've got the vertices are given, or the endpoints of the major are given, and my foci is given. So we've got my center is the first thing I want to find. So I'm going to take those -4 plus 6 and divide it by 2. So my center is going to be at 2 over 2 is 1, comma, 4 plus 4 divided by 2 is 4. So my center is at the point 1, comma, 4. And my foci is C, remember? The foci is C. So my vertices lie on my major. So my vertices lie on my major, and my major is going to be the x's or y's. I look to see in my coordinates what's changing, and it's the x's that are changing, so my major is going to be the x's. All right, so I've got to figure out what my A is and what my B is so that I can drop that in. So from my center to my major axis endpoints, my vertices, I go from 1 to 6. That's a distance of 5. So my A is 5. Now B, oh, I'm not given the minor. I'm only given what the foci is. So I can find what C is because it's the distance from my center to my foci. So from 0 to 4 is a distance of 3. So my C is 3. So now I can find what B is by doing C squared equals A squared minus B squared. So 9 equals 25 minus B squared. So we get 16 is equal to B squared. So B is equal to 4. So my equation is going to be x minus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 1 over. Now my major is my x, so my a squared is going to be under my x. My b squared, 16, is going to be under my y. And that is my equation of the ellipse in standard form. Okay. All right, so on to the last one. I just want to do one example of it, so I'm scrolling down to show you. I think you guys will be able to get these, like if I didn't talk you through it, but just in case I wanted to kind of go through it, I didn't want to just all of a sudden do this without ever showing you an example of it. All right, so I'm going to just change my pen color to bright green. All right, so we've got the graph given to us and we want to find the equation. So if I look, the biggest length is my major, which is my axis. All right, so if I want to find that, we've got my center, which is 1, 4. My major, well, the distance goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my A is 6. My B goes 2 up and 2 down, so 2. So now I want to find the equation. So the way that I would write the equation is, since my major is x, it's going to be x minus 1 squared y minus 4 squared equals 1. Now my a squared is going to go under my x because my major is my x, so 36, and under y is b squared, 4. Final answer. All right, so we're looking for the equation of that. All right, guys, I will let you try the remaining ones.